hate to break the fishing news after Ramchuck, but I'd like to speak about the ice hockey.
Congratulations, you're one of the 13 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
We just traded a migraine in for like an orgasm.
Might want to mark that down.
Yep.
All of my projects are on schedule until they're not.
A member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
About as funny as we're going to get today.
Summertime Monday edition of the Real Life Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Only the finest tasting meat products earn the Wilhauk name. Made from 100% pure Alberta beef, Wilhauk Beef Jerky is aged, seasoned, marinated, and smoked to savory perfection. Get your jerky on. For more info, go to wilhaukbeefjerky.com.
I wish I had some right now.
I also wish we had some right now. I had some beef jerky over the weekend that was not Wilhauk, and it's like,
This office is very snackless.
it is.
It's
Especially beef jerky-less.
It's dead in here.
Mondays.
We are the only 4 people in this office right now.
Dennis is here.
Oh,
Jinx.
kind of nice. Dog days of summer, baby.
Dog days of summer.
It is wild. It feels like the Oilers lost Game 7 3 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
It was 2 weeks ago.
And yet nothing has happened since. Wow, I
has
suppose
happened.
Oilers wise, yeah, there's been some things.
Yeah,
but
there's
just
been
like, generally speaking, when something feels like it was a long time ago, you're like, because X, Y, and Z occurred.
Yeah.
Non-hockey related. I can't think it's that busy.
No. Yeah. It's. Again,
I feel like it's been super hockey busy.
No, not hockey.
Oh,
Real life.
I feel like, and I was talking to Rick about this too, but I feel like there was a bit of like a dip in terms of like nightlife and like stuff around Edmonton where people were so gassed.
This is what I
from-
mean.
Yeah.
Like, there's been like a 2-week hangover. I think of most people aren't like going out and doing crazy shit because they had 62 days of party.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people that like, you know, they like to go with their cabin and whatnot, but they weren't going during the playoffs because every weekend there was a playoff game to watch. So now they're like making up for that. It's like, okay, I'm taking 10 days. I'm going to the cabin or whatever you cabin people.
I went to
do.
a Stingers game last night.
Hell yeah, go Stingers. They are tops
good.
in the league.
Summer of Baggedmilk I saw in the
Summer
tweets.
Baggedmilk's coming back.
Talk to me. What's going on?
Well, went out for dinner on Saturday. Had to. Got to get some brownie points going back at home.
Yeah,
Stingers game last night.
nice.
Cheap, fun. Merch is cheap. Beautiful. Snacks are cheap. Wonderful. Beers are cheap. Also wonderful.
Proves the point.
I saw a lot of things that were extracurricular activities around the basketball game. Stuff during the intermissions and stuff. We talk about like the Riverhawks and they
Last year was OG Jonah, or last night.
was
What the
it?
hell's that?
Who's that?
A local musician of some kind. He came out and rapped a couple of tunes.
And
So that's what I was gonna say. Like the Riverhawks have really stepped up in the fact that they do a lot of things between the innings, almost like Savannah Banana-esque. Is that what the Stingers are like?
There's always something going on. The thing, like, what's always fascinating to me, because I don't go to basketball games generally, only Stingers because they're the only ones in town. But I like that they've always got music going.
you don't go to Utah Jazz games regularly?
I tend to.
I was trying to
Memphis
get out to one.
Grizzlies.
So it's like a party in there.
I always try to get to one a year.
I swing by the Tabernacle.
But there's always tunes going on. They've always got like, you know, t-shirt tosses happening every other break. There's a halftime show of some kind. You just cruise around. I don't know. They set a good vibe there. Like you went a couple weeks ago.
I went my first one, like whatever it was 3 weeks ago. It's great. Tickets start at $20. They are a proud partner of the show. So I should tell you, tickets start at $20. Parking is free. Plus, there is a $5 food and beer menu. Get
That's
your tickets,
unbelievable value.
thestingers.ca. But yeah, me and my buddies went, and it was like, yeah, we each like bought a round of drinks, and we sat there, had our, 4 beers during the game. It cost each of us $20. The tickets were cheap, like parking, all
Free
of that.
Like on
stuff.
the outside of a Stingers game, you're not finding $5 anythings in the real
No,
world.
No.
Like the $5 concession is like the max $5. Like I think my hot dog was like $3.
Yeah,
nachos
$3
were $3.
glizzies on game days.
$3 glizzies.
Don't forget about the air conditioning in the building.
It was so cold in there. I'm not even making a joke. It was so cold in there last night. I went and bought a Stingers hoodie.
Only
Damn.
$40 though.
40
Good
bones.
value.
40 bones for a hoodie?
Yeah, they're nice hoodies too.
Dude, it's like such a cool throwback going in there.
Yeah.
And it's good basketball too. The target score thing is electric. So even in a game where they're like blowing a team out.
That's the coolest part
I
about
don't
it is
get
the
it.
target score. So essentially, like last night, the Stingers were just running the show on the I don't remember who they were playing last night.
Jacksonville Glizzies?
Yep,
All
something like that.
Canadian teams.
So anyway, they were up by like 25 points or something like that. And when's the timer? Like 3
4
minutes left?
minutes.
4 minutes left. 4 minutes left. They take whoever's leading, tack on 9 points, and they go, first to that total ends the game. So it gets rid of, like, if you watch basketball, the last 2 minutes of a game takes 60 minutes.
Or think about this example where they're up by 20. So what would the last 4 minutes be? Just garbage, right? Instead, note 9 points. It's like if you could guarantee every baseball game you ever go to ends on a walk-off.
So you could be up 80-40.
Mhm.
And when that 4-minute hits and they add on an extra 10 points, you could lose that game potentially being up.
Potentially, sure.
80
I don't
to 40.
understand why they add points. What the fuck?
So like the game I went to, they were up. It was like just for simplicity of math, but it was around here. They were up 80-70.
Okay.
And at 4 minutes left, they turn off the clock. No more clock. It's first one to 89. They had 9 points. And that team, Ottawa, came back on them. And it was 88.
So what's the
88.
point though of the first 3 quarters and 6 minutes?
Well,
It's
because
good
in this
basketball, entertainment, $5 menu.
Well, no, because like in the last game, like the Stingers were up 25 when the number hit.
Yeah.
So the Stingers only need 9 points. The other team would have to get 34 points to come back.
Oh,
It's
see.
a target score, not like
Right,
next
right,
round.
It's not like you just need 9 points and then the game.
Right, right. That's what I thought.
was-
yeah.
I was like, what,
I
these
thought too.
losers get dealt back in?
That's
No,
what-
yeah. So it's again, yeah, the front half of the game matters. Like the game I was at, the Stingers almost blew a 10-point lead just trying to get that next 9, but the other team came back for it. Then they won on a walk-off free throw.
Where last night, so the Stingers were dummying the other team. So they just needed 9 points. They crushed them out like boom, boom, boom. Game over. Away we go.
Damn. Everybody gets
that's-
home early.
A
That's
nice
just 3
tidy little
trays, you
evening.
know.
I don't like that.
I love it.
Take note. I don't like it.
I love it.
I want them to be like,
I think you
up
gotta
by
see it.
70
And
points.
Yeah, you
Why
got to
don't you go
see
to a
it.
game?
Like, yeah,
I have
gotta-
been to games.
Okay.
They weren't doing that though when I went. If they would, I was pretty drunk on them $5 beers by the end and didn't notice. There is that potential possibility.
There's also $4 beers. I had a couple.
$4 beers. How much alcohol, like volume?
They were just like the cans. I was having Michelob Ultras.
For $4.
Pretty sure.
How the fuck?
That's incredible.
How are they doing this? How are they not subject to the cost?
And I got to say, like last night, it wasn't full in there last night, but there was a healthy crowd in there. People were
They're
into it.
drawing very well.
People were into it. And like the activations during the game, like between whistles, all that stuff is fun. It's fun.
Speaking of local teams that are crushing, the Riverhawks with their attendance, I will put one small caveat on it. Other years, because I live right near the stadium, right? So many games in past years have been rained out.
Oh, yeah.
This summer is crushing it. So I don't know if necessarily it's like Edmonton just fell in love with the game of baseball 6 weeks ago.
No.
Or like there's actually been an extended period of beautiful weather during
I also think the Riverhawks
this
do a good job.
started like 2 years ago when they started doing like, I guess
the
I like
Riverhawks.
the Riverhawks.
It
I
wasn't
like
them
what you
before that.
called activations because they always have something going on.
Yeah,
Something
the
fun.
Capitals did. No, not Capitals. The
Cracker Cats.
no,
Capital City? No, what are they called?
the Pickaxe guy is the mascot. What were
Oh, I
they?
don't remember what they were.
What were they before the Riverhawks?
Capitals?
Graham check.
Oh, the
River-
Prospects.
Yeah,
Prospects.
prospects. I mean,
Yeah,
the prospects still do somewhat exist.
They do, but I just like when they
Yeah.
became the Riverhawks 2 years ago and Dr. Greg and them took over, they went hard.
So did you hear that the Riverhawks got offered to go to another team? To
To
play in another
AAA
league?
baseball, isn't it?
Yeah.
Triple A.
No, it's not all. It wouldn't be all. I heard there was an offer or like there's interest in bringing
Yeah.
some form of affiliated ball back to
So
Edmonton,
it's basically the Trappers coming back.
but
they're
they're
gonna-
not that good. It won't be AAA.
They're going to be subject to the same high cost of travel that always smushes everybody.
Yeah, I can't. I think you got a good thing. As much as I would love to see affiliated ball, like a ball team that you'd actually see some, MLB style prospects come through, and not that this league right now, the guys will get drafted. Eric Sabrowski was a Pittsburgh Pirate. He's playing AAA ball now in Cleveland's organization. Like it can happen, but the idea of having like a high A team or something where it's like, ooh, like especially if they're the Jays affiliate, like that'd be sick to be able to go watch like Jays prospects come through. But also, there's part of me that's like, you got a good thing going right now at the.
You do have a good thing
I'm
going.
going to predict this in advance that Savannah Bananas are going to turn into a league of that bullshit. Because what they're doing is
What are they-
replicable, and what they're doing is so outdrawing minor league ball teams that other people are going to be like, why don't you dance with a ukulele?
In
So
their
they're
in their league, so is it just is every other team the Washington Generals
Yes,
essentially?
Essentially, but they have two teams. They have a real team and then a dancing team.
But I thought there was something about how now, like that's how it started. It was like, hey, the inning after the game's done, we play banana ball and it's all kooky, but they were like an independent league team. And now I think it's changed to they just do this like traveling.
Yeah, but they
thing.
sold out like 20 major league ballparks.
Yeah, they
and
did.
shit.
But they just go now and it is like Washington Generals versus whatever. Like the whole game's a kook fest.
But
Globetrotters?
like as an owner of a non-affiliated ball team in like the middle of Maryland, if you know that you can do like the normal baseball thing and people kind of care, or you can have a guy moonwalk up to the plate.
But it would lose its shine eventually.
Would it?
I think so.
Yeah, I like again. They're
How much can you really do?
Well, look
They're-
at the Bananas.
But now they're traveling around. You can't just stick one team in a random state and be like, we're doing it every game. It would be like,
Really?
people would do it a handful of
You
times.
think only the Harlem Globetrotters could spin a ball on their finger on a ladder?
No.
But I think to Tyler's point, if the Harlem Globetrotters were just in every city, they would be kind of.
I don't suggest
eventually.
there's going to be 300 Savannah Banana clones. I just think there might be like 5.
I'm sure they'll try to be some amount of copycats, like there probably was with the Harlem Globetrotters. I just
remember when they tried to make Uncle Cracker? That's not Kid Rock. Baggedmilk, anything?
Yeah, that is true.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm more of a Joe C guy.
There you go.
myself.
All red to
Alright.
power.
I think Savannah Bananas need to come and like play exhibition games against teams like the Riverhawks.
Dude, they're
That'd
playing
be
in
fun,
Fenway and they're playing in New York.
Oh,
they
wow.
sold out Yankee Stadium. Or
Brad,
something.
Bearded Brad went on a trip down to Sacramento.
Yeah,
to
remember we
watch
saw him.
the
We
Savannah
saw him at the
Bananas.
airport.
But like, isn't that kind of like a weird sign of society? That you're just like, you know what we like is just silly. Like, add 9 points, make them dance. Like, what happened to the sanctity of golf? No, they wear shorts now, and there's only 3 rounds. Like,
I think we need a little silly.
I think it's fine.
I could use a little silly.
It gets people
Who
into the
doesn't need a little
sport too,
silly?
right? Like if you can't get the average 6 to 9 year old to sit down and watch an entire baseball game, but if you have the Savannah Bananas thing going on, then maybe they
Would
get
you watch
interested in
something like
baseball.
that in hockey, where it was all guys like
What would be the equivalent, though? I guess.
guys like that can pick it up and spin around with
They're
it on
like
their
just
stick,
passes
like that forever
in the
hockey
air.
guy. Yeah, love
It's
him.
just like Tyler Zegras, like just a bunch of them.
Yeah,
did you see Brent
exactly.
Sopel threaten his life? And thank God Brent Sopel's like 70 years old now. He was on a podcast. He was like, if he tried that shit, I'd kill him.
Every old
Yeah, a lot of
NHL
old.
defenseman.
But Brent
ever.
Sopel in that podcast, like my blood went cold. He
I'll bet you
seems
there's-
so tough still.
Tons of NHLers that find themselves behind the net and know that they could do
Oh, for
a
sure.
Michigan and successfully pull it off and don't on principle.
They didn't invent it 6 years ago. Before somebody would have murdered you. But yeah, Brent Sopel was like, if you think you'd try that shit on me, I'd go out there and cave his face in. I was like, damn.
Slash him in the
Brent Sopel.
head.
You see that Sheldon Surrey thing he was talking about?
Yeah,
That
that was.
I know it was on Brant Meyer's podcast. It's a fresh
Seems
pod.
to circle every now and then.
Every 6 months.
How long ago was that done?
That interview would have been done like a week ago.
Oh,
But I'm saying every 6 months, it feels like Sheldon Surrey does a podcast somewhere and says that story.
well, this is his topic.
and
yeah.
that's the story that goes viral.
Yeah,
It's like that story because we've heard that a bunch of times.
Oh,
now.
yeah. It's still, though, interesting
Yeah.
to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it when he wrote that article in the Players Tribune. It's kind of the first time.
Yeah.
I think it like pulls back the
Still
curtain.
handsome though.
Well, sexy as all hell.
What's the story? I don't even know what you're talking about.
He broke his hand in a fight, had to go get surgery on it. The Oilers were like, no, you don't. There was like some discrepancy about how bad it was. His hand got infected. The line that's kind of like the real hitter in the story is when he was like told the nurse, like, is there a chance you guys have to cut off my hand? And she was like, we're focused on this infection not spreading to your heart and you dying.
No, yeah.
And then like the Oilers, some trainer, someone from the Oilers came in and was like, hey, by the way, the medical staff thinks you're fibbing. They think you're making this up because he wanted to go to LA to get the surgery. They didn't want him to.
Oh, okay.
So that's the whole story. Is that like the Oilers, he was like fighting for his life in the hospital and the Oilers were like, he's probably faking.
Jesus.
So walk it off.
But it's his
Walk it off.
It's the hit song right now, like you say. Like when
Yeah.
he does his rounds, he's telling the same story over and over.
Yeah.
But it pulls back a curtain to me on like how teams do treat athletes very poorly.
Mhm.
And like if you have injuries, who was it that wanted to get his own surgery? Jack
Eichel.
Eichel.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you don't. Like, I don't know. Do you think the players like when you sign to a team, are you signed to them like being your lords and masters of all medical procedures and shit? Or are you like able to go to the Mayo Clinic on your own dollar?
Well, speaking of which, we were talking about before the podcast, this guy, Paul Skeens, and like pitchers that are just, God, throwing gas right
so
now.
happy
Like
for that guy.
they're,
Me too.
I heard a story on a podcast about a doctor that was talking to the host, and he was like, he does Tommy John surgery. And he's like, there's the way these people are throwing these days, it's almost a guarantee that you're going to have Tommy John surgery. So what parents of like 13-year-old kids that are prospects are
Do
doing?
not say preemptive Tommy
I
John.
swear to God, they're asking to get preemptive Tommy John
Oh
surgery.
my
But it
God.
doesn't make sense because you can get Tommy John their time.
But they think that like if we just get it now,
Wait a minute.
it'll make him a better pitcher.
We get like super tendon put in.
Yeah, like I don't.
I don't know. I don't even know what Tommy John surgery is, but apparently, like, there's a lot of cases where pitchers get Tommy John and they become better afterwards. Their arm lasts longer.
yeah, but for every one of those guys, there's a guy who gets Tommy John and never gets his stuff back.
Right. But if you're a pitcher and you're throwing that hard and that much, and it's almost a guarantee you're going to get it done at some point, these people are thinking that if we just preemptively get it done, then we won't have to like lose a year of a career.
But every normal doctor out there would be like, no,
Yeah,
you
the doctor's
can
like,
re-injure your
we're not
arm.
doing that.
Counter would
You're
you
a psycho.
lose
A year. Of
a
training.
year of development that you need at a young age?
Yes.
But you
Yeah,
got
that's
super
a good
I know,
tendon.
it's crazy.
Well, I mean, like thinking about it, with watching a pitcher's arm in slow motion, how it like whips is
that,
absolute
that
bananas.
torque on that thing.
We're in an interesting point too in like medical science where normally you'd have a prosthetic because you have like a deficiency, like a limb missing or something like that. But we're now getting the point where you could theoretically augment yourself with surgeries, right? So like imagine in 10 more years, you're like, damn, all these kids are throwing gas because they got those new cyber tendons because they're preemptively getting like gene therapy and shit. That'll happen in our lifetimes.
Remember that movie called The Rookie?
Rookie of the year.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year, where the kid
Yeah,
Harry Rosengartner.
Yeah, he fell
What
down.
on earth? How do you know that?
I think his name's Henry Rosengartner. Yeah. Because I don't know. I like that movie.
Yeah,
It is a good
Me and
movie.
Didn't he
my
get
buddies-
surgery in advance to have like a super?
No, he
arm?
broke his arm.
He broke his arm in the summer vacation. Then all of a sudden he played for the Cubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
And
it just like somehow grew like became a
true
super
story,
arm.
right?
And he's in the outfield and he catches a ball and you're supposed to throw the ball back and he gets it all the way to the catcher
From the
from
outfield?
the outfield.
They sign him on the spot?
Oh,
Right to
yeah.
his glove.
Oh,
Me and my
boy.
buddies were joking about that this weekend. Can you imagine like the sports betting angle of that, like the reverse, where you're like, dude, the Cubs are starting a 12-year-old tonight and the Reds are plus money. This is the lock of the century. He's literally 12.
Does his first pitch go awry, then he pulls it together, or how does it work?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I'm due to
I also-
rewatch it.
I also remember the one where the kid becomes the owner of the Minnesota Twins and turns them into a fun-loving baseball team. Those are the kind
Savannah
of movies-
Bananas?
Close, but a playoff contender.
You ever see that documentary about that golden retriever that made the NFL?
Mm-hmm. Airbud. No, wait.
Crazy documentary.
We were
Document.
doing Oilersnation radio one time, and it was just one of the episodes that got a little bit unhinged. And Tyler read the premise to what movie would you watch?
MVP, most
Yeah,
valuable
most
primate.
valuable.
Oh,
Primate.
unbelievable. Monkey makes the NBA.
Yeah, no, NHL.
No, this one was the NHL.
Oh, there's I see.
There's a skateboarding one. and a
MVP
one.
hockey edition.
Yeah.
All the movies that are on the cutting room floor and they're sitting in a boardroom somewhere and the guy's like, okay, hear me out.
I got it.
There's a monkey.
I've got.
And this monkey becomes great at hockey.
But
And they're like, done. I mean, green lit, buddy. Go get it done.
But this one had all
Yeah.
kinds
Go
of
make
like,
it.
twists and turns, and there was
Don't
like,
ruin it for me. I
Are
want
they
to see it when it
respectful
comes
to the
out.
game, or is it stupid how they portray
Oh my
hockey
God.
in the game?
Oh, I don't know.
Mighty Ducks isn't even
Like masks always
respectful
up.
to the game. A knuckle puck.
You know what I saw this
Give
weekend?
me a break.
Inside Out?
I went and saw. I took my niece to that.
Okay,
And
so
the hockey, that's actually
it's very on point. Like the animations, it's good.
and the goal, her like signature move she
Yeah,
scores in
man.
the game is actually just like a sick little toe drag pass.
We took Wanye Jr. to go see Minions. Now, I got to tell you in advance, Wanye Jr. is not a man to be trifled with. If you tell him something's happening and it doesn't happen, there's going to be hell to pay because he gets things stuck in his head, the old man. So we're like, hey, do you want to go see the new Minions movie in the movie theater? Never been in the movie theater before in his life. What's a movie theater? It's the biggest TV you've ever seen in your life. You can see he's like, I want to see this.
And you get tons of snacks.
yeah. So we go, Minions is sold out.
Oh no.
So we're faced with two options.
Just hold on. You didn't pre-buy your tickets?
It was a spur of the moment decision.
Okay.
And in St.
You can
Albert,
still look.
the land of wonder, apparently, there was a bloody Minions every 15 minutes. We're like, okay, we're on our way. It was too hot to go outside. It's kind of like on the fly indoor activity.
Right.
Anyways, I'm faced with two options. Tell a 3-year-old that we're not going to be seeing Minions or just take him to another cartoon and hope it just sort of cancels out. The entire movie, he just look over and be like, where are the Minions?
What a minions is.
So we're watching
That's not
the
a
movie,
minion.
hockey, scoring. I'm like, I love this. We love hockey. Where are the Minions? To the point that like an hour in, he's like, are the Minions coming? I'm like, man,
I don't think so.
I don't think the Minions are in the Minion movie. But that was a really good
I
movie.
think we're in
And
the wrong theater.
Yeah.
the quality of the hockey cartoons was very good.
I actually enjoyed it as an adult. There were a couple jokes in there that I was like, that made me chuckle.
When they
a
had
little
the cartoon ads in the NHL playoff games, I was like, this is the stupidest tie-in ever, but it actually is a cartoon about hockey.
Yeah. I took my 4-year-old niece. I don't spend a lot of solo time with children, as you can probably guess.
By law.
I mean, I hope not.
Well, yeah, like with my nieces, I don't like.
You guys want a beer or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, she was very excited. So it was very cute. She woke up that morning, didn't eat breakfast because she told my sister, she was like, Uncle Tyler promised me snacks at the movie theater. I want to save space.
Yeah, you got it.
Smart.
So took her to the movie. Things are going great. Movie
Question: What
ends.
snacks you buy?
She already knew. As soon as I got to her house, and then we walked from there, I was in the movie theater. As soon as I got there, she was like, Uncle Tyler, I already know what candy I'm going to get. I'm like, perfect. You can have it all.
Interject if I may. Shockingly small new portions of candy.
Yeah,
in
they
the
are.
Theater.
They are.
Bag's still the same size. But
Less
the
candy.
actual, I swear to God, I got like 8 M&Ms for $70.
That's why I only buy snacks at the Stingers. See, got myself a.
You're not an M&M in the popcorn guy, are you?
Uh,
I can't do it.
If somebody else
I
is
do
eating
it.
it, I will
the best
eat it.
part. You get a little treat in there
Like
as you're
Maltesers
eating your
or
way through.
M&Ms?
No, like
Why can't you
peanut
have
M&Ms.
delicious-
When I go to the movie theater, I get popcorn. I get a bag of M&Ms, and then we get licorice, just nibs to split.
But you won't dump the M&Ms in the popcorn bag.
No,
Why?
no, because I go back and forth.
That's why you space them out. You shake the bag and then throughout
Oh, the M&Ms all
when-
fall to the bottom, don't they?
No, the popcorn holds them up.
Does the hot popcorn melt them?
No.
Oh.
But what's cool is when you do to the bottom, I know this because I just went to a movie yesterday. At the end, there's always one last M&M. You'll blow your own mind. When you have them all in a bag, you know when you're out. Popcorn, you're mining for gold till the end of the movie.
Just eating popcorn, waiting to get to. I don't know. I like the separation.
Have you tried it?
Church
No,
of State.
no, you have tried it.
You have not, Chalmers.
I have tried it a long time ago.
Yeah.
I was one and done.
One and done. You thought M&Ms were invented by the military so that people in tanks and people fighting outdoors in the heat could eat chocolate without it melting in their hands. And you think that it's going to melt in popcorn?
I guess I didn't think about it that way.
Shit.
I didn't know it was a military grade M&M
Well,
cover.
Chalmers, maybe we should just give all our money to the military and let them figure it
Let
out.
them make
because
all
they
of our
gave-
snacks.
They gave us candy.
I would like to try one of those military, like just add water pack things that they have.
You can
I
buy
would
them on
want-
the internet
You could, but do I
Astronaut
want to?
food, right?
Yeah, astronaut
or
food.
just military ready. What are they called? Like MRE kits or something?
Yeah.
You want to try them, but you don't want to try them.
Maybe that could be a summer activity.
You don't have to buy like
Podcast.
5 years worth. You can just buy like one.
What sport movie was the truest to the sport in the way that they played the game?
So are we taking out like Moneyball, for example?
Yeah,
Like that-
I'm saying that a big portion of the movie had to deal with the play on the field, like Major League.
Yeah, Major League would
Like, It was pretty good. Charlie Sheen, he looked okay.
Wild Thing coming out.
Youngblood.
Come on.
Tin Cup. That was a good
Tin-
movie when it came out. Remember? Tin Cup.
I don't remember.
Used to watch it in Nevada.
Tin
Bob's.
Cup was good. Kevin Costner as a golfer.
I Major League was the one that.
But like
stood out
Kevin
to me.
Costner had a legit swing in that movie. That was
I
one of the
love
best.
Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday's good. The gun on the no, that's Last Boy Scout.
But like Any Given Sunday, where what's his name's kind of like he's bougie.
It was
Pacino needs to reel him
so
back
I
in.
more mean like the actual gameplay. Like when you look at it, you're like, this could actually, because you know how like the triple deke, it's like, well, is that really
Flying
going to
V?
work? The flying V is not going to work. The knuckle puck's
How
not going
dare
to
you.
work.
I've seen the Anaheim Ducks do the Flying V real life.
Maybe Blue Chips was a good movie. Lots of good basketball in that movie.
Varsity Blues.
Oh,
Basketball.
Very true to the sport of basketball.
That documentary,
God, I
Air
love
Bud.
that show.
Yep.
Do you know what another good one was? And it was a football one. So his Last Boy Scout, The Program. Do you guys remember The
Are they
Program?
lying down in the street and the cars are going beside them in the program?
I
It's like a test
yeah.
to join the team. They have to lie on the center.
think that is The Program.
That's all I remember from the football movie is that one.
I just remember Latimer. He took a lot of steroids so that he could make it out on the team as the linebacker. And then when he finds out he gets it, he runs to the parking lot and he's so happy that he just puts his head through the windshield
You
of a
got
car. And you're like, okay, Latimer's a psychopath. That's okay.
I think the way to do MREs, Wanye, is to get a mix pack.
What kind of flavors are there?
I've got just your standard granola.
Okay.
I've got some scrambled eggs.
Ooh.
I've got chili mac and cheese with beef.
Okay.
Lasagna with meat sauce.
You'd love this, Ramchuck. You can microwave plastic. This is your favorite.
This is my whole bit.
Pasta primavera.
I don't know what that is.
I would
creamy
try-
macaroni. And
I would
cheese,
try any and all.
rice and chicken, and a classic beef stroganoff.
Good enough for our boys and gals in the service.
You know,
Shit.
get a mixed bag. I think that's the way to go.
If you really want to do MREs, though, you got to buy about 5 years worth
What?
and then move
one of those
underground.
big tubs.
Mhm.
So let's see this through. You have up a site where you could buy these packets of food.
Jeff Bezos, Amazon.
What is the package size and how many different meals and what's our price point?
All
we're
right,
looking at?
so we'll explore this. So the one I'm currently looking at with all those wonderful flavors,
Yes.
that is $170.
How many meals, though?
Sounded like 10.
Yep, 10. You get a couple of each with some desserts.
Each meal serves how many people?
Just one.
So it's
Ooh.
$17 per meal per person.
30-year shelf life.
Whoa. Oh, so these are designed for what are they called?
Doomsday.
Doomsday
Took
preppers.
it from a bunker.
Yeah. Doomsday preppers.
Okay.
Yeah. They've got all kinds though. Amazon is the place to do it. You know?
I'd buy some of those with you and try and Baggedmilk if you
I would
wanted to for summer
absolutely try
content.
Let's do it. Tyler and the Nation Real Life podcast tries
Or different option.
desserts.
This one is just a big old tub,
Ugh.
14 pounds dry of just emergency food supply. That'll last one person estimated 2 to 3 weeks.
What do you got in that drum?
What does it taste like?
What do you got in there?
It's just called mystery food or
I
something.
don't hold on.
This
yeah.
one is, well, we've got a couple of things in here. We've got maple brown sugar oatmeal. Lovely.
That's
Tyler, a favorite of yours, fettuccine alfredo.
great. Ooh.
Cheesy broccoli rice, creamy chicken flavored rice, Spanish rice, creamy potato soup, hearty vegetable chicken flavored soup, some banana chips for when you want something a little sweet.
Like a side.
When the world has ended, but you still have a sweet tooth?
And some morning moo, some low fat milk alternative.
You sound awful.
Yeah.
Here's what you do, Tyler. You dig a big hole in a rural area and then you bury 8 school buses and weld them together.
Yep.
And then you buy about 8 years worth of food, 6 or 7 wives, move into the underground
Because
hole.
9 school buses is too many and 7's just not enough.
Yeah, no television. You only get to play Nintendo with the wives. And then 20 years from now, after you ate all that food, you come up and realize nothing happened.
And this big tub, like you could make that a chair if you want to.
Oh, the wives will love it.
Stylish and practical.
Tyler, you know if you're involved in a cult, which is 50-50, that you know you're going to have multiple wives. That's a 100% chance. Just given your... Look at you.
That's not too bad.
Look at you.
Doesn't sound too bad, he says.
It was either
Let's try it.
sportscaster or
Let's try
cult
it.
leader for Tyler.
Yeah, we should
Tyler,
buy some of these.
joining a cult?
You would
No.
create a
Oh,
cult.
just the,
The
ration
food.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, you'd want to lead.
I don't
a
want the
cult.
mystery emergency one, though. I'd like the one with all
Let's
the
get
different
that
packages.
sampler pack. I'll get in on that.
Do that.
All right, now.
This is expensive. Jay's not here.
Approved. We should actually just, here's what
Approved.
we should do.
Oh, you
We should
approved
just- Let's commandeer Dog Patch and for a day just serve military rations heated up.
Military day.
Delish.
We don't tell anybody though. So they're like, "Oh, can I get a beef dip?" And you're like, "Nope, but you can have."
Beef stroganoff.
That's the one.
Cheesy broccoli rice.
Cheesy broccoli rice from a bag.
Are you
Good for
guys
30 years.
Are you guys the type of people who plan your meals based on the weather? Amber's always very into that.
Based on the weather?
Yeah. She'll
No.
be like, oh, it's going to be hot this week. We need to eat like this, this, and this.
I do think I want to get one of those like prepared meal things. I hate cooking.
I subconsciously am not going to eat soup today.
Those are actually kind of fun.
Because like if I have everything pre-prepared for me and I just dump in a thing and follow a recipe, I'm much more inclined to do it.
Yeah, and it is.
I'm
somewhat-
very lazy.
somewhat
When I'm in
fun
the
to
school
follow.
bus array with the wives, we on Sundays have a meeting and we decide in advance what we're going to eat.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm on TikTok and people will prep meals for their whole week. I can't do that.
My wife and I tried to do the 1 week plan every Sunday. You like just pencil in Taco Tuesday every week and then just kind of like
Yeah.
spread out everything else. It lasted 2 weeks.
I'm not built like
what
this.
happened? Like was
We
it
just
the
fell
groceries
apart.
that fell apart?
No,
or the-
it wasn't that. It was the prep. It was the planning. It was the preparation. It was the like, you plan to have dinner together every night, but one night maybe there's hockey or there's like something that's going on or like a baseball like practice. And then you just, I don't know, you get out of the routine and then you just don't ever go back to it. I'd meal prepped once for like a week. It was awesome. Got to that next Sunday and was like, I don't feel like doing this. And so I just never did it again.
yeah, I don't want chicken and rice again. all
I don't
week.
feel like chicken and rice again all week. And it's, yeah.
I
Chalmers,
always
you want-
cook more of what I'm eating though, so that I can have lunch the next day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
make
Yeah,
that
that's
conscious
always,
decision.
oh,
That's
buddy.
just solid planning.
Yeah.
I always order more food than I need at a
which
restaurant.
is kind of meal prepping in a way.
Yeah, like if I order Chinese food, I order enough Chinese food for 10 people.
Or like
expecting-
when
Like if I go to the
before it.
Italian center and buy a sub, I don't buy just one.
I do.
I buy 2.
If I buy a drum
for
of
later.
underground meal preps, I get enough for 4 years. A whole presidential administration.
At least.
C in 4.
At least.
You want to
Why
hear
do you
a
ask
story,
that?
Chalmers, where I'm mature? You want to hear a story where I'm
Ooh.
mature?
Can we
I
it-
do.
Can we do it after our break?
Go ahead.
All right, we're going to step aside for a quick break. Back on the Real Life Podcast.
That was an extended break. What was happening? over there?
I was worried about the levels and then I wanted to test them out. Now the
Oh,
computer's
no.
being weird. One
What's at
sec.
the bottom?
You
Yeah,
know
what's up
how
with
I hate when this happens. I like to look at the graph.
that? Well,
I
but what's
can't
up with
look
the
at-
bottom being? That's the
See,
one.
that's the one.
See,
Like,
why would you need to go and do that? Like, how on earth is that designed so strangely? You have to wiggle the mouse.
I can't proceed with the podcast if it's not like just flowing like this. If it's doing that jump thing, I can't handle
Well,
it.
our levels were super low. Also, apologies about the last episode we did after free agency. I don't know what the hell happened in the audio. It sucked. And I'm going to call out listeners who very clearly just mashed the 15-second ahead button until the end of the intro because I put a disclaimer at the beginning being like, hey, this podcast sounds like shit. I was like, it is not good.
Which one was this?
The post free agency one we did in the other room there.
Why it sounds so shitty?
So we did O&E in there. It was
Yeah.
fine. And for some reason it switched and just recorded off the little mic on the camera.
How can this happen constantly? Like, I'm not saying you do anything wrong, but like, it seems to me like these studios vary so much day to
Well,
day.
part of the problem was during the playoffs, we kept having to move stuff out to take it to Greta and take it on the road and then bring it back. So that's when.
But
things
not
are getting messed
that
up.
day. If you just done a
I
show,
know, which is weird as hell. But anyways, so I put a disclaimer at the beginning being like, hey, this podcast doesn't sound good. I said, you can understand the words. It just sounds echoey, like you're sitting in the back corner of the room listening to us talk.
Did it sound as good as when Baggedmilk and JR were in a taxi cab in Florida?
Anyways, I put the disclaimer.
Did you listen to that?
No.
When you guys were sitting in the hotel? I mean, I
I
can't
was
imagine
there.
it.
Why do I need to listen?
Yeah, I
When
heard
you
myself.
guys were in the hotel and JR and you were sitting very close to each other on two different laptops,
Yeah.
and his was coming, his mic was being used by like the laptop mic.
Yeah.
I was just like, this can't continue. We've got to
And it
stop
did,
this.
Anyways, I put a disclaimer at the beginning being like, it sounds like shit, but it was a somewhat good episode of the podcast. So if you want to grind through it, feel free. If not, shrug. Oh, well. And I still had so many people DM me immediately like, hey man, wrong audio file for real life. This one sounds bad. McGanno, disclaimer at the beginning. I know the pod sounds like shit. I'm sorry. Anyway,
I'm going to put a disclaimer in this one that the podcast is just bad.
just straight up horrible.
Just straight bad.
Story,
I don't even know what we're talking
I
about.
don't know what we're talking about.
story time with Wanya.
Oh, yes. Chalmers.
Yep.
We've known each other for a very long time.
Long
I
time.
eat the bulk of my meals in restaurants. Would you agree?
Yes.
To the point I had to start all these restaurants so I could eat in my own restaurants so I could entertain myself.
Yes.
Wanye Jr. and I, in his entire 3.5 year life, have maybe been to a restaurant 3 times.
Who's feeding him?
I go to the grocery store, man.
You cook now?
I take him to the grocery store and we make he thinks food comes to the grocery store like a normal person.
Okay. How
I cook for Wanye Jr. That's my dog.
how crazy are we getting? Are we talking easy microwavable stuff, or
No.
are you like legit cutting
No,
vegetables?
Yes. Everything from everything.
What?
Hold on. Everything from base
I like that
ingredients.
that's
That's
cooking.
the line, is just cutting vegetables.
If you knew where his line was before,
Yeah, man.
cutting vegetables is a huge step.
Like, I'll make him a dish and I'll put the ingredients
knowing-
together and cook it up. Every single time. Mornings, legit. Everything's legit.
That's really so. Give me one recipe. Give me your favorite recipe. Give me his favorite recipe of yours.
I make him like, we'll have like grilled chicken
Okay.
and we'll have like steamed broccoli and then we'll have some pasta and then we'll eat some cotton candy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I bribe his ass
To eat the broccoli.
to eat. Yeah,
That's you're steaming broccoli. That's
I will steam stuff. I have that little silver thing that fits
Oh.
in the pot.
Yeah, you got it.
do you know why he had to go to restaurants? Because even ordering the food was a fucking undertaking.
Yeah, but
He had to
society,
go
like,
to the restaurant and be like, I need to talk to you face to face. I mean, like, so for him to steam
yes,
broccoli
man.
right now?
I steam it because he doesn't eat raw vegetables. I
Have
have
throw
to.
any cheese on that broccoli?
No man,
always
he
a
doesn't
touch.
like cheese. He's a little
Oh.
kid. But that's the story of
He's a little
Wanye.
kid. My little kids love cheese.
He doesn't like cheese.
I love steamed vegetables.
Me too.
I love those little things that you put in the pot.
I couldn't believe it when I saw how you do it.
Yeah.
You guys should see my garden.
I'd like to see your garden.
Wow, has the heat ever taken over? And things are happening.
Yeah, same with my jalapenos.
My tomato plants that went from indoors to outdoors to quickly dying because they had never seen real sun to not like just wilting and like you cut off the dead stuff and then they learn they're climatized and then these things are amazing now. I love it. They're so big, they're so bushy, and they're just starting to get some tomatoes on there. Oh man, it is
You
just
should make us some salsa.
We can put it on our military meals.
I got about a week and a half where they're flowering right now. So I got about a week till we start to harvest some good tomatoes, week and a half.
Huh.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Let me know if you need a jalapeno for your salsa.
Oh, I like some
Are you doing
jalapenos.
That's the only thing I'm growing is jalapenos.
Dude, so
I like
Get some
my
of those the prepper foods.
The
and
MREs?
Throw Chalmers tomatoes
so
on
what
there.
happens if
You French them up a little bit with some fresh tomatoes.
you guys should start gardening in your backyard.
I would like to. I have no yard. You've been in my house.
Yeah. You do. I mean, it's
a weed.
little
You
bit.
don't need that
You know
much.
what, Chalmers? That's a really good idea because then he'll be like, "Oh shit! Like you can make your own tomatoes, you can make your own peat."
And you can
Chalmers?
watch and
It's also relaxing.
you can
Do
watch
find it
them grow.
relaxing when you're like pruning and shit.
buddy, it's the best. Like every night before I go to bed, because it's now cool and you're not supposed to water them in the heat. Go out there and I water everything and it's just like relaxing. I cut off some dead stuff. I go down and,
Nice.
it just, and then straight up this stuff, like you're watering at night, you're looking at it. I come out the next day in the afternoon and look, and like the kale's like twice the size. This heat is just like so good for it.
It's also relaxing in the sense that like, it's not even me. One of my neighbors is like, he's an older Japanese guy, but he's got like this plot.
Mm-hmm.
It's so beautifully cared for.
Where do you live? Feudal Japan?
Watching him just like singularly cut off dead leaves and stuff. Quite peaceful.
It's very good. It's really impressive that you're cooking full on meals.
Yeah, man. I'm trying. I don't want him to become a weirdo like me. I want him to be a different weirdo. And
Yeah.
so
But there is like a half-ass approach to it where you're making like canned chili
No.
with like a box of craft dinner and you're
true.
mixing it.
Well,
and you're like,
he does
son,
eat craft
here's
dinner. Let's be real.
chilleroni. And
He's 3 years old. He
but to,
loves
like-
craft dinner. But like I
Right.
try to like show him, like, we go to the grocery store, you get a vegetable, you get a meat, you cook that, you put that shit together, you got yourself a meal. He does like chicken McNuggets, don't get me wrong.
Who
He
doesn't?
does like fries,
Yeah.
but that's just because his little tongue.
Well, and who doesn't? They're delicious.
Your taste buds die as you get older, right?
it's,
when you're a little
not
kid, you
every
go like-
meal has to be grilled vegetables or grilled chicken and vegetables, but
Oh, but, like I try to
it's
make
good. That's
like,
impressive.
Yeah. So he knows like if he's hungry, we
Little
go to the grocery
little
store.
tacos, maybe.
Yeah, like
Try stroganoff. It's good.
he's still so little that like if you try anything with any spice in it or anything, he won't do it. That's why like I try to steam vegetables and stuff because like you can have steamed carrots. Give me a break. You're 3 years old. Like we will eat too many popsicles. I will be honest with you, Chalmers. Sometimes we have too many mini ice cream sandwiches, but we try. We try
I
our
too
best.
eat too many popsicles sometimes.
They're
get
pretty
it.
good.
I'm not a big cold dessert guy.
When it's this hot,
I know
you can't crush like a fudgesicle or a creamsicle or
No,
a revel or all of the above sometimes.
I like soft serve ice cream, but that's hard to just have around the house.
Right? You don't have a soft. You don't live in a Wendy's.
You should get a soft serve machine for your house.
That would be great.
It's a baller move.
You know what we
That'd be
buy?
a baller,
Mini
man.
drumsticks.
Ooh, I like that.
fuck
actually.
Drumsticks are the best. And then like the big ones are just a lot. So you get like the mini
cans,
ones. Oh man. Big caramel center guy. Love the
That's
caramel
legit,
center.
actually. That's
Little
legit.
treat in there.
All right. This is a podcast on Oilersnation.com and on the Oilers Nation YouTube. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube. We'll get that number up. Got some fun summer content ideas coming. We should talk little hockey. Segments brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of the Real Life Podcast. You can open up an account today with Bet365 and use the promo code OILYBONUS to get in on a huge range of markets. That's Oily Bonus. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Wanye, you like to place one wager every year. Oilers to win the cup. They're the favorites right now on
What does that mean?
Bet365. They are number one. They are 8-1 in the league. Best odds to win the cup.
Do I owe you any money from the playoffs? Because we were doing that one comeback bet.
No, we're covered.
We're square.
Yeah, we're square.
You want to get in on one of these? Start the next year off. Let's go Oilers.
I think waiting is maybe the play.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
that's what we
waiting's the
talked
play
about.
too.
Remember, we wait till they've lost. They maybe go 10 games in and they're
4-4.
6-4, 10 games in. Some
other teams 10-0.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think waiting's a little bit.
Okay.
The odds.
Because right
just-
now the excitement is real.
I liked them last year. I love them next year.
That's why I think we wait a little bit.
Okay.
I want to get this Bet365 bet in so I can buy myself a soft serve ice cream
How
maker.
much?
$199.99.
Not bad.
What would you rather?
sorbet,
What would you rather
gelato?
have? A soft serve ice cream maker or a Slurpee machine? A mini Slurpee machine?
Let me do a little.
Ice cream.
Why not? both?
Really?
Yeah.
Man, do you know how dirty these things get?
I know. You gotta be on the cleaning.
Well, I was thinking about that because you mentioned that a little while ago, and my
The ice machines?
Yeah.
yeah,
my ice
as the heat has gone up in the city, my Slurpee per 60 has also gone up significantly. So I was getting a Slurpee the other day at our spot, Chalmers, and all I could think about was, I wonder when the last time they cleaned this thing was.
At least when it's turning
whatever.
over, it's better, right? Because there's like more throughput. It's like
That
the
would make
middle of the winter you want to worry.
Also, Bet365. They have 4 players' regular season point totals for next year already posted. McDavid is at 129.5. He's crushed that number in back-to-back years. And last year was a bit of a down year for him as well, or at least it felt like a bit of a down year at points. But McDavid to go over 129.5 seems like a pretty solid number. I don't hate that one at
What
all.
about Leon? Because he's actually going to have wingers this year.
That'll be interesting. They don't have a number up for Leon. At some point, they definitely will. But that it is weird. Again, like we said off the jump, it's only been 2 weeks since they lost. But I started the piece I'm writing for the site right now. It is weird how happy and optimistic the fan base is still. Hey, it's like that Game 7 loss was crushing for again like 4 days.
Yeah.
But then it was like boom, draft, boom, free agency. And then free agency was just so insanely positive that it's like everyone's ready to go again.
Jeff's cooking up the jambalaya, man.
Even the trade from Friday was like you said it was our most viewed YouTube video ever.
Which was?
I went live and did a live reaction to the the Ryan McLeod deal.
Yeah. That was our most viewed ever.
Most viewed live stream we've ever done on Oilersnation.com by like 2,000.
So because I'm on this thing, people just assume that I know what is going on with the Oilers and cap. I like watching hockey, and I don't know things to do with free agency and the cap.
Yes, you
and
do.
how
You just
things
don't
are.
want to tell people.
I just
the
don't
DMs.
like really care that
You're
all much.
dick.
So a lot of people keep coming up to me and be like, so what are we going to do? How are we going to get under it? How are we going to LTI? Okay. And I'm just like, I don't fucking know, man. And so can you just tell me what to tell them?
Yeah, sure. So I'll go to Puckpedia.
I know you probably already talked about this.
Oh, yeah.
But
so the Oilers right now are their current cap space, according to Puckpedia, they are $354,000 over the cap.
Oh my God. Can we just pay a luxury tax and be done with it?
I wish it was that simple.
I wish, man.
No, you don't, because then non-salary cap economics would creep back in and we'd be fucked again.
No, the Oilers would be so rich. The Oilers would be one of the rich teams in the league.
I don't know about this.
Cates would spend. He just bought out Jack Campbell. Poor organization wouldn't do that. Eat that much money, just straight up. Anyways, okay. Oilers are 354K over.
Yep.
That is with a roster that has 12 forwards, 7 defensemen, and 2 goalies. But it does not have Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg signed. So you need to sign those two. Let's say it's $2.2 million for them combined, 1.1 each, somewhere in that ballpark, right?
Okay.
And then you're
So now
also
2.5.
2.5 over.
Yeah.
And that would be at that point with a roster of 8 defensemen and 13 forwards.
Okay.
So option 1 is you could just send down 3 players and go with 12 forwards, 6 defensemen, and 2 goalies on opening day. Because to get to that, again, 2.5, you could waive and send down Perry. That's 1.1.
Derek Ryan.
You could send down Derek Ryan. That brings you up to 2. And Josh Brown would put you at 3. So.
And what is that? So in that moment, you adhere to the salary cap.
Yeah, you would adhere to the salary cap. You'd be good. But you can only ever have 12 forwards, 6 defensemen, and 2 goalies on your roster, which is not great.
Little tight.
What if we circle back with Darnell Nurse and we say, hey, quick question for you. $3 million haircut, and I will buy a signed Darnell Nurse stick for $3.1 million.
I wish there was restructuring in the NHL too.
Just secret. You still get the same amount of money. And we just broke the all-time record for a signed Darnell Nurse stick. Do you think that happens, Tyler? Wink?
No.
In sport?
Well, it can't.
It
What
does
do
in the
you mean?
NFL, does it not? Where there's like,
Yeah.
your contract's not this anymore.
You don't think that any professional athletes have compensation that are outside of their
Oh,
formal salary cap?
yeah, there is. I'm just saying in this situation that doesn't.
Well, like
do
back
it.
in college, they used to just get him a job at the
Yeah.
local
But that
car
stops when you
dealership,
go
and they'd make
pro?
$120,000 a year to sweep the floor.
Damn.
So in that scenario,
Okay.
Charles, I think what it would be is they would do something like that. They'd be cap compliant day 1, and then day 1 of the season they'll put Kane on LTIR because there's certain benefits to doing LTIR the day the season starts versus doing it
Like
in the
what?
off season.
What benefits?
It gives
You
you
accrue cap
you
space.
accrue cap space.
If you did it now, you wouldn't accrue cap space?
No.
That's right.
What?
So, like after game 1.
After game 1. So for game 1, you would play with, you know exactly who your 12, 6, and 2 are, and they're healthy.
Yep.
You'd play game 1, Kane on LTIR, and then you could call up your extra guys and have a full roster.
Okay, so this Kane to LTIR thing, people like it
Yeah.
seems to be the hot thing that everybody keeps saying.
That's
I
right. I
think
want
people-
to cheat.
Yeah, right. But then I see a tweet that's like, no, he's going to be good, man. Let's
Yeah,
not worry about him.
That podcast
But
said
if-
that, right?
What if? So, if he is sitting there in hopefully new GM Jeff Jackson's office, and they're like, after game 1, we're going to LTIR you. We know that you could play right now, but do this for the team.
Oh, well.
How long does he have to stay like that for? To playoffs? Like, take
Well,
a
no,
whole,
if he's not hurt, you can't fake LTIR. You need a doctor's
Oh, you can't
note.
fake LDI.
Okay, so
Nancy Kerrigan.
Wink.
Wapow.
so
The way you could, in this instance, fake it the way other teams have gamed the system would be right now they're talking to Evander Kane going, how's your hip? And he goes, it's bad. I need surgery. And they go, how about you try to rehab it this summer real good and we'll see come training camp if you need surgery because I think there's about a 6-month recovery on this
Wink.
bad boy. Wink. Like that's how other teams have gamed it. Other teams don't you can't make up an injury. They can't
Because wasn't that what happened with Kucherov, where they waited until like Christmas to get him surgery
Yeah, he was like,
for that exact reason?
Yeah.
But
if Kane doesn't want to do that and says, I'm playing game one.
yeah,
then he's
Then he
playing
comes
game
out, he
one.
does the warm up, and he goes and sits on the bench, and then they have like a rig harness, and they just like make him ascend into the rafters of the arena.
So you have now played game one.
Mhm.
You've got your 12, 6, and 2.
Mhm.
You've got Ryan, Brown, Perry, down the minors,
Josh Brown, not Connor.
Josh Brown, and Kane's like, no, I'm fucking doing this. What is the other? Then you just
You have to trade someone.
yeah, okay.
And I think the other option would be trade Cody Ceci, right? That's the easiest one. You just 3.25, you move him. We just established you're roughly going to be 2.5 over. You can trade Cody Ceci and run a full roster and actually make an extra $700K on the whole thing too.
Yeah.
So it's either
And you're
LTIR
trading that for picks just to clear cap space. That's all you're doing.
And then-
So it's really not like there is, from what you're telling me, there's about 3 options. They don't all suck.
No.
Like,
they're fine.
people just seem so hot and heavy about this.
Well,
It's
I
like-
mean, the trade they made on Friday put a big dent in the hole they were.
Because before they made the McLeod trade, they're 2.5 over. And then it was like, okay, this is like, it has to be Kane. And like, even then it's tight, like
Yeah.
a bit more of a problem. But after the McLeod deal,
My favorite thing about a trade is when the other team, their fans are like, what the hell did you just do? Like, what did you just do? You traded a guy we're all excited for a guy that we just watched in playoffs not really step up too much. And yeah, so he makes us faster. Okay.
Savoy could be really good.
Yeah, he could. And he's gonna like how old is this kid?
He's 20.
20.
somebody asked us if that's going to be the new Reed Schaefer, like the new local boy from St. Albert, Moose Jaw Warrior, and now come home to Edmonton. This guy's ticking a lot of boxes.
That's when I was talking to Jay on Friday. It was the ultimate trade for Jay, given that he wanted to get rid of Ryan McLeod anyway, and you brought in a Moose Jaw Warrior.
Who
It's
delivered
just
in the dub.
So weird to be in a situation where, okay, we lose game 7, whatever, that sucked. But then to go through the offseason and to be again the talk of like hockey, but this time in as much positivity and like with the most glowing like criticism about what we've done, to say like, look at all these moves you guys are making. This is unbelievable. And then this trade is like this cherry on top. It's weird. Is it not weird? Is this the best
This is
offseason we've
what
had
winning
in
feels
years?
Gregor did an article today at Oilersnation.com where he talked about like players like Matt Savoy do not get traded before they play in the NHL.
It's wild.
Does not happen.
What is the red flag here?
He's
He
small.
does get injured sometimes.
He's small.
He's small.
Yeah, he's 5'9" and change or something
Yeah.
like that.
You know who else was played in Moose Jaw, came to the Oilers and delivered? Ryan Smith.
Yeah, he did. Not small though.
No,
No, big tough guy.
long hair.
Mm.
Don't care.
Savoy's got long hair.
Does he?
Well,
Hey.
starting.
Did his media
Who's a
conference.
5'9" comparable player?
Connor Bedard.
Steven Ellis.
Yeah. Okay.
Not identical because of the size, but I asked Steven Ellis, I said, what's Savoy's like NHL player comp? Like, what kind of style? And he said,
Matt Rempe?
he said somewhere between Matt Duchene and Kevin Fiala. So like,
I like that
in
a
his
lot.
in his prime, perennial 30 to 35 goal guy.
They
Okay.
got that for McLeod?
And he's going to be on his ELC for 3 more years.
I
so
know
he's
it's been a
super
long
cheap.
time since we talked about hockey, because it seems like it's been 2 weeks since we've
Last
done one of
episode
these.
sucked.
But like, was it not super out of the blue? And tell me about like us getting Victor Arvidsson. Like, where did that come from?
Well,
The
Frank had
rumors-
that. He signaled that on your show like weeks ago.
Yeah, like while the Oilers were still playing, Frank kind of gave us the wink. Like,
What do we
Is he
think
not
about
one
him?
of those players? He's one of those players.
Really good.
Just back in the day when I used to watch Hyman on Toronto and he'd come to Edmonton, I didn't know anything about him, but then you just see him play and you'd be like, okay, that guy's got something. I really like what that guy's got. You know,
Super annoying.
like Evan Rodriguez, obviously he played really well against us, but he's another one of those players where I didn't know anything about Evan Rodriguez. And then I just watched him play in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I was like, wow, that's somebody who I would like to have on my team. Well, Arvidsson's always been one of those players.
Tyler's
that
had
I-
Arvidsson on his rat list every single year. he's
Yep.
played for the
Oh, he's
yeah.
a rat.
well, he's always diving around.
Explain
and
to me.
shit.
I just know him as a diver.
Yeah. He's probably going to have to cut that out.
But he's also annoying.
He's annoying. He's a pest, and he can score 30 goals when he's healthy. And he wanted to come here. Him and Matthias Ekholm are best buddies. So
Best buddies?
Ekholm called him and made a pitch, and then Arvidsson actually apparently called Adam Larson and was like, hey, like, what do you make of it? Like, is this a good organization, good city? And Larson apparently like vouched real hard for the Oilers.
Thank you, Larson.
And was like, yeah, like you won't regret it. Go.
What's Arvidsson? Arvidsson. Yeah, no, Victor Arvidsson. What's his last injury and like what was his last season like?
Last season he only played 18 games. He was so hurt.
Okay, what was the injury?
I think it was like
Played the playoffs though.
Yeah, he played in the playoffs. I think it was like a back thing or something.
Oh, goody.
Well, maybe Connor's got him a cold tub. I see Connor a lot of
He's
cold
in that
tubbing.
cold tub.
He's a lot of cold tubbing.
Staring at Lenny.
always-
Staring at Lenny, staring out at the lake of Muskoka.
Or just out in the trees, staring at nothing.
Yeah.
Staring at Stanley Cup in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
He's just recharging right now.
Yep.
Am I allowed to wear my Western Conference gear yet?
We told you could.
Yeah, who said you couldn't?
I don't know. It's just still sitting in the top of the closet. I had to run it past the panel.
Nah, we told you could
So
do
I
it.
can wear it?
Wow,
I'm not
yeah.
a loser?
I don't think
I'm
so.
excited to wear it.
They won the Western
It was
Conference.
a lower body injury for Arvidsson.
Oh, good.
But like he did play in the playoffs, and I thought he was fine in the playoffs. I mean, the Oilers stomped them anyway. But
Yeah.
to me, that it's the trade-off of would you rather play a little bit more for Victor Arvidsson or bring back Warren Foegele at almost the same money? Arvidsson's a much better player.
Does he wear glasses?
And especially in today's NHL, where like
Victor Arvidsson glasses? Question mark.
Hang on.
I doubt it. Also, feel for Evan Bouchard because his best buddies on the team. There was 2 years ago that little crew of Bakersfield boys, not quite all Bakersfield boys, but it was Bouch, McLeod, Yamo, and Fogle were like inseparable on the road.
They have that photo of them at the Stollery all on
Yeah.
the chairs.
No glasses.
No glasses, eh?
They're all best friends, and now Bouchard has none of his.
Can you have 3 best friends?
A quartet?
Now he's gonna have to make a new friend.
Yeah, well, maybe him and Matt Savoy will hit it off.
Stay away from Savoy. Isn't he going down to Bakersfield?
Probably, yeah.
What do you think, though? Could he be a fan favorite?
I think so, man. I think he could.
When
be
I talked to Stephen Ellis about
Everly-esque.
this on Friday, that's one of his comparables, by the way. So when I talked to Stephen Ellis about this on Friday, he goes, none of this makes sense to me. The Oilers got one of the best prospects in hockey for Ryan McLeod, fine player, and a prospect no one remembers in Tyler Tullio. I'm paraphrasing.
It's
The trade doesn't make sense.
so when I saw it went down, I was just hanging out on my couch, and then I was like, "Oh shit, I should go like hop on and do a live reaction to this." And I'm like setting up all my camera gear. It was our the Friday day in lieu for the company for Working Canada Day. And I was like, "God damn, day off," and I'm gonna go stream about Ryan McLeod for a 3rd round pick, and the chat's gonna be pissed. And I just saw a text from Stephen Ellis, and it's just him being like, "If the return is actually Savoy, I'm gonna freak out." And I was like, had to do a double take. I'm like, "What if the Oilers added into this trade? Like, did they do
You thought
something?"
it was just for a third.
I thought it was just
Yeah,
gonna,
just cap dump.
I thought it was gonna be cap dump McLeod for a 3rd round pick. I was like, hopefully they got a 3rd round pick out of this. Like, here we go. And then when I saw that, I was like, did they attach their next first to this deal? Like,
Maybe he's injured. Maybe he's small.
I don't know. I think it's a great gamble to take, though. Great
bet.
gamble to take. All right, before we wrap up, got to remind you, Oilers Nation Open is coming up in August, end of August, August 30th. You can head to nationgear.ca to check it out. And we are going right back out to the Millwoods Golf Course. We had such a good time last year. There was no doubt who our golf partner was going to be in 2024. Millwoods Golf Course has private club conditions for under $100. The greens are always immaculate, and that fully stocked pro shop has loads of local clothing lines. Check them out online, millwoodsgolfcourse.ca. I'm itching to get another round of golf. I went camping all weekend. I'm not. I used to think like, oh, maybe that's something I'll get into. Like I never did it growing up, but like maybe I'll. No, I hate it.
What is it that you don't
I
like?
love camping. What do you
I
not
didn't
like
think
about
it
it?
Do you have
You
a
don't
tent,
like
though, or
about
a
it.
trailer?
Tent.
You drink all day and you have a fire and then you eat stuff off the fire.
Sit there. You got to set everything up the night you get there.
Oh, my
It's like,
God.
oh.
Takes like
fill
an hour.
up my air mattress. My air mattress sucked. It was flat by the morning. My back sore the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
You stink.
Oh.
I love it.
Musky. I love camping too.
I love
I'm super
all of
into it.
the.
Why'd you stink? Isn't there like a river or anything close by? You
No.
go take a little dip with the soap. bar
Speaking of
soap?
river, I want to go do some fishing. I
Oh,
watched
yeah.
Waz out. He was just fishing in the river, some catch and release. So this feels like a good time.
So you just said you wanted to golf more.
I want to go for.
I
Golf
played
more,
4
camp less.
rounds of golf in the past 5 days, and
Damn.
it's awesome. This is my new life without kids baseball, and just having one kid playing soccer and the other one playing like 3-on-3 hockey. It is, and that's not even going anymore. Me and my sons. I went golfing on Wednesday night with my friends. Thursday night, me and just the 2 boys went 18. Friday night, I went with my friends. Saturday night, Me and the two boys, 18 holes again. And then last night he played in his very first 9-hole golf tournament.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 10-year-olds. It's a mini tour that NAX is putting on between 5 years old and 12 years old. There's 6 tournaments for the next 6 weeks every Sunday, and so parent caddy, you go out and you play with them. It was so much fun. I walked on Wednesday. And I realized that you can set up like a workout on a Peloton app to just do an outside walking thing where it would connect to the Whoop that I'm wearing, which is like a heart rate monitor. I know this is going somewhere. Just give me a second.
Whoop?
A Whoop is a heart rate monitor and sleep. I don't know. Tells you a whole bunch of stuff. But I never really knew and I never tracked it, but playing 18 holes of golf, what the statistics look like. Now, average golf course. How many kilometers do you think you walk in an 18 holes of golf?
9K.
I'm going to go 8.
4?
It's 6.
Okay.
It's between 4 and 4.5 and 6.5. So both days I hit 6. How many calories do you think you burn in 4 hours on a golf course? Walking up
600.
hills, pushing your bag.
Ooh. I'll say like 1,000.
550.
No, that seems too high.
550?
550, 600.
I said 600. Shut up.
Okay, 650.
Oh,
Price is right.
no fair.
I should have said
I
1,000.
averaged 1,200.
Yeah.
The day it was really hot and we were like, Friday night, we were hot. I was having a few drinks, but we were, just your heart rate's maybe going a little bit more because of the couple drinks and just like the heat. It was 1,450 in 4 hours.
Damn.
Wow.
Crazy, hey? I think I'm going to walk all the time now. My body doesn't feel great today. I'm not going to lie. I'm like,
I find when you walk, the golf suffers on hole like 14 through 18 because you're just like tireder than if you're in a cart.
I need to do more golfing 18 walks then because I'm up 20 from the playoffs.
oh, I'm up 10. Yeah. A nice, easy 10 might be 12.
You gained 20 pounds in the playoffs?
Dude,
Oh,
so much more
you look
drinking.
it.
It's
Keep
It was drinking and it was eating like shit.
Plus, you guys
and
were always
just
on vacation.
You're
So you're always eating out.
everywhere we ate to while we were gone. Like, find me one healthy meal we had, Tyler. You couldn't.
No, that's why when I was doing the last bit in Vegas, every morning I woke up and I like made it a point. I ate a fruit bowl before I did anything else from the little like deli downstairs. I was like, if I don't start eating one healthy thing, my body's going to just
Was anybody else like me where they were like, look, just don't worry about it. It's the playoffs. We'll get a hold of this when we're
Think
done.
of the injuries.
That's
the
exactly
players.
what happened.
Yeah. You just keep saying, you're like, okay, yes, I'll have fries on the side because fuck it. I'll get this together when the playoffs are over.
That's exactly what
We'll
happened.
get the horses back in the barn.
But my thing is, and like you said, you went out for dinner the other night too. Like I spent so much time away during the playoffs that now that work is relaxed, Amber wants to like, hey, like let's go out to, hey, let's go.
Let's go sit on a patio.
Sat on a patio. Yeah, we want to golf. All this stuff. So it's like, Gregor, for example, the day on the rundown was like, I'm cutting out sugar for the month because I let myself go in playoffs. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, I'm probably drinking just as much because I have all these social obligations and like FOMO. Like all my buddies were hanging out all playoffs and I like wasn't with them. And not that
There's always an excuse. It's like, camping. What am I not going to drink?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Canada Day. What am I just going to sit here and stare at the marshmallows on the fire? No.
It's Jean Baptiste Day. Of course I'm getting drunk.
Comedy festival this weekend. What am I not going to have a cocktail at it?
National Pickle Week. You expect me not to drink?
I had one glass of wine since playoffs ended. That's it. Oh, actually, no, I lied. I had 2 beers last night. Damn it. Damn it.
Wait a minute, I'm drinking right now.
Did we talk about it before you guys left? How I went over to a friend's house to pick up something, and his sons were playing wiffle ball in the backyard.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh my God, like these don't clear the fence. Like you can hammer these things. You could play within the confines of your backyard. My kids were always playing with tennis balls. It was just like 2 houses over every time they'd make a hit. So I immediately bought, they spent 2 hours out there playing wiffle ball. I expected to be there 20 minutes. I had a couple of beers with them and I was like, this is the best thing in the world. So I bought a whole set of wiffle ball
With the
stuff.
strike zone?
Oh, buddy.
Oh, that's so sick.
Everything. And so like wiffle ball, we've played probably 20 to 24 hours worth of wiffle ball in the past week.
Hell yeah.
Fast.
Oh, I think I'm probably about 450 with 20 home runs. It's just the best, man. We're having the best games. Oh, it's so hard. And like my one son who did play baseball, me and him have got this like mental battle between us when we're at the plate, and it's so much fun. It is the new, like, we're just having such a great time.
You're in such a sweet spot for a guy who loves sports and also loves his kids.
Yep.
Because they're getting good enough now where you can actually like.
The golf is so much fun to watch. My son last year was just like getting into it, the oldest one. This year, he goes and plays 4 times a week with his buddies out in Devon. And then we go and play like a couple times a week. He's totally different. He's so much better. He's just figured it out. And it's so much fun to watch him bomb a drive down the fairway like 220 yards.
I'm trying to think about how we can get a real life game of wiffle ball going.
Oh my God.
Yeah, can you invite us over?
Buddy, of course.
Want to
and
play
the best
wiffle
part
ball.
about it is I've got the garage on one side. So if you hit it off there and it goes out, ground rule double, right? Yeah. The fence across is no trees. So it's the pure home run fence. And then all the way down the other side is big trees that are in line with the fence. So if you hit it into the trees, most likely it just like ricochets off and comes in, or it like falls down the tree a little bit and then you can try to catch it, or it just goes over the fence and it's either single. If it goes over the fence, fair. It's single. It's got to go out the back fence for a home run. Like, it's just even making up the rules. The very first day, we played for 5.5 hours just making up rules as we went.
That's the best.
Buddy, I am in a sweet spot with these kids. 11 and 13. It's the greatest.
All right. Well, that hour actually kind of flew by. We went over an hour.
We talked really good hockey stuff. Now I can answer all the people that have been asking me about like, well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do here? What does this mean for us? And I just go, man, I don't know. Now I can tell them. There you go. I love it.
Hopefully the people listening were educated as well. That is a wrap. Shout out to our friends at Bet365, Millwoods Golf Course, Wilhauk Beef Jerky, presenting sponsor to today's episode, and the Edmonton Stingers. Second last home game is Tuesday night for the Stingers. So giddy up. You're going to want to get out and check it out before the playoffs get rolling around. That's a wrap. Back with everybody on Thursday.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.